Welcome back to the Cool Fears channel. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector. The information on this channel is intended for adult collectors and not children. And today we are going to be taking a look at the Hot Toys Deluxe 1985 Doc Brown. If you do enjoy this video, please remember to give it a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Jumping right on into this review, guys. Yes, today we are taking a look at the Hot Toys Deluxe 1985 Doc Brown. And to say that I have been waiting for this figure, that would be an understatement. Ever since I got into 1/6, ever since I got my Marty, I have been waiting for his companion Doc. So yes, Back to the Future is in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. So you know, when this guy came available, I had to pick him up as well. What good is a Marty without a Doc, and what good is a Doc without a Marty? So I went ahead and picked this guy up as soon as he was available at my local sideshow retailer, and man oh man, do I have some stuff to say about him. There's some good, there's some bad, there's some fixes coming. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and get started with everything that this guy does come with. So he is the deluxe version, so he does come with a few extra things. But first, before we start, I do want to point out the remote in his hand. If you can see, the antenna on it is actually quite short, and there's actually a good reason for that. I broke it, you know. Day one, literally out of the package, I was displaying him in my DTOF, and the remote fell out of his hands. So I guess that's one of the gripes with this figures. None of the hands really fit the remote naturally in them. You kind of have to just work it so that he holds it the way he's holding it right here, with one hand underneath while the other one is actually somewhat gripping it and looking like it's gripping it, you know what I mean? Because yeah, none of the hands actually fit the remote in his hand comfortably. There's no real wide open C-grip hands, so that's one of the bigger gripes with this figure. There's plenty more, but there's also a lot of great stuff that comes along with this figure, so we'll definitely get into that. So since I did break that first remote, and it was literally on day one, I was actually able to get a replacement remote. So here is the remote up close and personal, so we can take a look at all the amazing great detailing in this accessory right here. It is absolutely phenomenal. The only thing I would say is it's kind of hard to see on camera, but if you're looking at this in person, the joysticks, they just move side to side, or at least they're set to move side to side only. There's really no movement or option to go up and down. So one of them was supposed to go up and down, one of them was supposed to go side to side, but it works either way. It is capped off at 88 miles per hour, of course. We do have the little stop logo right here, as if you can see it right there, so in case they had to emergency stop it. But yeah, just an all-around great accessory. But yeah, with a very, very thin, long antenna, so if you drop it, yeah, it's pretty much done for. And so we do have a lot of great detailing on the back, the wiring right here. There's an on and off switch right there, as well as a hold, reset, up, down. A lot of great intricate details that we do see in the movie for a split second, but Hot Toys went ahead and recreated it with that remote. So we won't have to take a look at the remote in his hand, and he is still holding a lot of accessories on him, so we're going to have to take a look at all those when we do take him off the rotating turntable, but we still have a few that we can take a look at before then. So all the docks also come with this clipboard that he was holding in the movie as well. Super cool and awesome. I just wish that this clip actually worked. Like, that would be really beneficial, because aside from getting this amazing clipboard with, you know, some calculators and fun stuff up there, we do also get some paper documents as well. And that's why I said that'd be a really good thing to have, because you'd be able to clip these in. So we do get like this kind of, I guess, vanilla or manila folder, not vanilla, but manila folder, that we can go ahead and put the paperwork inside, or we can have it out and displayed however you want. But we do have this. I'm not too sure what exactly this is, but we do have some nice paperwork to show some great stuff right here. And as you can see, it is fully printed on. You can pretty much read everything on there if you want to pause the video and read. I'm trying to focus it so that way it's as clear as can be. But yeah, we do get all that, and so we can place it all on the clipboard, which is really fun and awesome. But like I said, I just really wish this clip would just open up ever so slightly to be able to slide these papers in and hold it as a clipboard should. So I've noticed that I've gone through accessories before I've even gone through alternate hands. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at those really quick. Good thing is he only has two. So he does come with an alternate left hand. Like I said, very close C grip. Nothing that would actually hold the remote itself. As you can see, it's a very, I guess if you hold it like this, you would have to literally hold it like this. This is the way he'd have to hold it, because I guess that actually works, but you have to be very careful with this thumb right here, not to put too much pressure on this little stop lever right there. And the last extra hand that he does come with is this kind of lightly relaxed pointing hand, so he can be pointing at stuff on the remote right here, showing Marty, or he can be pointing stuff out, obviously, on that clipboard with all the paperwork right here. Pick this up and he could be like, oh look Marty, you need to look at this, you need to do this and that, blah blah blah. So yeah, really cool. So besides that, he does also come of course with his stand, and that actually rounds things out for the standard version. However, if you do have the deluxe version like this one, you do get a really cool yet very controversial accessory, and that accessory is of course the plutonium case right here. While it looks absolutely phenomenal, it does, unfortunately, Hot Toys made the decision to make it out of cardboard instead of hard plastic. So while there are hard plastic pieces like the handles, the edges right here, the rest of it is a cardboard. And while I was taking my review photos, I closed this up to take a photo, and when I went to open it up, the handle itself right here actually just popped off, and you can see there's very little glue right there, and so that's pretty disappointing to say the least. You know, I mean, come on Hot Toys, do better. We're paying, I think I paid $285 for this guy, and we're getting cardboard accessories, and the handles don't even move out. They also even include a stupid sticker sheet in order to add more of these to this thing, but it's like, really Hot Toys, why am I paying all this money to stick stickers on my stuff? That should just come already done. Besides it being cardboard, it does have some nice foam inserts right there, and it'd be really cool if all of these would remove, but unfortunately only this front one right here does remove. The rest of them, it's kind of hard to tell, but they're only really like quarter pieces, so really the only part that they do have in it is like maybe up to there. But this little piece is really cool, the uranium that they do use to fuel the time machine, especially considering that this little rod comes out as well. Super cool, super awesome. So super accurate to the movie and everything, and a really cool accessory to get nonetheless. I just really wish it was made out of hard plastic. So the last thing we're going to take a look at is of course the stand that he does come with, which is very classic Hot Toys old school style, but they probably did that in order to match the Marty that came out 2 years ago or 3 years ago at this point, because he came with a very basic old school style stand, much like this, just as Back to the Future and Dr. Emmett Brown right there. And it does come with a crotch grabber, which I would recommend using for this guy, especially if you're going to put the remote in his hand, because if he topples over with that remote in his hand, bye-bye accessories. So with that being said, guys, that wraps it up for all the great stuff that he does come with that he is currently not holding on in his suit. So why don't we go ahead and remove him from the rotating turntable so we can take a look at all those great accessories on him, as well as take a look at all the great detail on this guy and his articulation. Alright guys, so here we have him up close to the camera so we can take a look at all the amazing great detail in this guy, as well as all those great accessories that he does come with. But before we take a look at those, he does come with one other accessory that I forgot to mention when we were taking a look at the other accessories that he does come with, and that is the stopwatch for Einstein. As you can see, it is very well nicely done and detailed, and it even has the 1:21 time on there. Now, he doesn't come with Einstein, Marty does, but he does come with the stopwatch that goes onto Einstein. So in order to get it onto him, you merely just pop Einstein's head off. I know, kind of a cruel image to see right there, but just do that, pop it back on, and he wears it like a good boy. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at Doc himself. So every piece that you do see on him in his jumpsuit is essentially a removable accessory. So let's go ahead and pull him a little bit closer so we can start at the top right here, where he does have a pen protector and pens as well. I think it's supposed to be a notepad though. We do also have this clip right here that does hold onto this piece of paper right here. Up here we do have the other timer that he does utilize in the experiment, and that is connected to this little pouch right here, which I really don't know exactly what it is, but it's full of little foam, and it seems like there's a little bit of an intake right there, so you can actually put something in there if you do want to. He does come with this gremlin style notepad right here, and the paper underneath actually has lines like an actual notepad. I don't know if you can tell, but that really looks like a gremlin to me, so I'm pretty sure that's what they were trying to go for. He does come with some calipers right here so he can measure some stuff. And now moving on to the larger portion. Well, first actually, he does come with his wristwatch right here, as well as the one on his other hand right here as well. And as you can see, he does have some nice time on there, and it does have the connection to his finger as well. The jumpsuit overall is very well nicely done and detailed. It is rolled up right here, and you do see his undersleeves. He does have a nice Hawaiian shirt right there underneath. And then underneath that, he has the thermal long sleeve right there. I just wanted to look at that real quick before we take a look at the accessories on his tool belt, because I personally didn't even realize that he was wearing such a busy shirt underneath his jumpsuit until this figure came out. So now let's tackle his tool belt right here, because man, oh man, does he come with quite a lot. So we do have some electrician's tape right here. We do have, let's see, what is this? A file right here. Small pair of needle nose pliers right there. We do have a T or a square right here. That's how you measure things and square things off when you're drawing things. We do have an open ratchet right there. We do have some other pliers. We do have a flashlight right here. We do have some screwdrivers, and that pretty much wraps it up. I thought he had a hammer, but I guess I was wrong. Oh, that's another figure I'm thinking of. I have another figure with a bunch of tools and a tool belt, so we'll be getting to that as well. Unfortunately, it is made out of pleather, and so is his belt right here, and we all know what happens to pleather over time. It just disintegrates, unfortunately. So yeah, we can even unzip his suit if we want to get a closer look at that Hawaiian shirt underneath, but that's really cool how we can actually see that, because like I said, up until this figure, I didn't even realize or pay attention to the shirt that he was wearing underneath his radiation suit. So now that we've taken a look at that, and now let's quickly take a look at the radiation suit itself. Very basic. It's all white. It has his orange little flares down here. He is wearing, basic work science boots or whatever you want to call them. These aren't really lab official shoes, but they are nicely done. They have some nice tread detail on the bottom as well. And so now let's go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt. Now this is the same head sculpt that they released with the Back to the Future Part 2 doc. And so that's why, if you notice, he does have some cuts right here on the side of his head, and that's where the glasses from Back to the Future Part 2 are actually supposed to go. But like I said, this is Back to the Future Part 1, 1985 doc, so of course he does not come with those glasses. However, I guess if you want to buy them separately, you can and add them to this guy, but I've actually decided to buy a separate custom head, this one right here, in order to replace this head, because this is another one of my gripes with this figure. While this figure itself, the accessories are so amazing, the head sculpt has a little to be, improved on. It looks like Christopher Lloyd. It looks really good, but it just has a bit of a softness in my opinion. And when I saw this alternate custom 1/6 head for this figure, I absolutely fell in love with it, and it looks so much more like Christopher Lloyd. And so for the money I spent and for the display piece that this figure is, I went ahead and decided to pick up that alternate head sculpt, so that way when I look at my display, I'm like, yeah, that's Christopher Lloyd right there on my shelf. While the Marty McFly one is a bit soft, it still looks a little bit more like Michael J. Fox than this looks to Christopher Lloyd. I think it's really the hair on this guy. It's a little too smooth, a little too controlled. And also the lines and wrinkles on this guy's face just are not there. So that's why I said I have a lot to say about this figure. There's a lot of positives and there's a lot of negatives, but at the end of the day, I am happy to have a Doc Brown on my display shelf next to my Marty nonetheless. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy's articulation. But before we do that real quick, actually, I just wanted to show you the back of the suit. It does have that radiation logo right there. It is slightly sewn askew, but it's on the back, so it's not really a big deal. So I say that after spending $285 on this guy. But anyways, with that being said, let's take a look at this guy's articulation. He will look all the way to the right, all the way to the left. He is on a fixed neck peg joint right there. He will look down that far. he will look up pretty far actually, so that's pretty cool. His arms will go out to just under a T pose. He does have a butterfly joint, no bicep swivel, single hinge elbows, rotation at those elbows, rotations at the wrist, hinging up and down, in and out, whichever way that ball peg is facing. He does have slight ab crunch, but he is wearing a fat suit underneath, so it does kind of hinder that. He does have rotation at the waist as well, but once again, the jumpsuit and the tool belt do hinder that. He will kick out that far before the jumpsuit starts stretching, so unfortunately he cannot join the cheerleading squad, so him and Marty are on their own. He will kick forward not too far actually. Well, I guess it's pretty far. He'll kick forward that far. He will kick back none at all. He does have a thigh swivel right there, and he does come with double hinge knees. Taking a look at his ankles, they will go down that far, up that far, and they do come with a ball rocker hinge. So, great, Scott. That wraps it up for this guy's articulation. Alright guys, so that has been my review of the Hot Toys Deluxe 1985 Doc Brown. Let me know down in the comments below, what did you think of this figure, and where does Back to the Future fall in your top favorite movies? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you've made it this far, type down in the comments below, great Scott. That way I know you've made it this far and you're enjoying the content. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some really cool pics that I took of this guy. And shout out and thank you to the channel sponsor, Entertainment Earth. Check out my Entertainment Earth affiliate link down in the description below to check out some cool figures and help support the channel. With that being said, if you did enjoy this video, please remember to give it a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a great fucking day.